Hey, it's Friday. Yes, it is. Best day ever. It's my favorite day of the week. Is it your favorite day of the week too? Fervent? Yes. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a wonderful Friday. I get that for some, that means being at work, and that, oddly enough, does not make everyone happy. We can't make everybody happy. And boy, oh boy, do I want to not make some people happy today. I don't know if you saw my video on TikTok, but I was discussing McDonald's drive-thrus. Yes. And we're going to talk about that more right now because I can't help myself. McDonald's drive-thrus. How many times have you gone through the drive-thru? Well, at McDonald's or any other fast food chain, and you're told, can you just pull over in spot number 1? We'll be right out with your food. And you go, but I just ordered a coffee and a burger. I don't know. I'm making it up. And you go there with your coffee and you sit down. And 5 minutes goes by and 10 minutes goes by, and then your food comes out. Why? Well, I've got a lot of theories as to why. And I used to work at McDonald's when I was a kid, so I actually understand how things used to be. Because in the 80s, they were efficient. They wasted lots of food. They had lots and lots of staff, but they were efficient. Customer service was awesome. A lot cheaper to eat there, but times have changed. Why is it now that it takes forever to get your food? And I have some theories. If you have theories, let me know. I would like to hear your theories, and then I'll delve into my theories. So we'll come back to this. But I think it's a spicy topic. Good morning to, oh my goodness, we got lots of, I am Nguyen. We got Jennifer, Smiley, Brandon, Carl, AJ Clark, Name Lesur, Socket, Liz 2, and Socket says, my boy. And then Liz 2 says, happy Friday. Peter John William joined, Creator Steve joined, and Nick Lasagna joined, who says, I always use the mobile pickup faster than drive-thru. I have some feedback for you about that too, because I gave up on drive-thru for the longest time. Like, I just don't even bother. If there's a free spot in the pickup, I just pull there because I know I'm going to be sent there anyway. So I just completely skip the drive-thru, pull into the spot. But you see, it stopped working. It stopped working because after the vid, the co in the vid, they stopped putting appropriate numbers of staff dedicated to curbside. So what would happen is you would wait there forever. And there's a location that's not too far from my house that I refuse to attend at all ever again, because I waited 45 minutes for curbside pickup, to the point where I went into the store and said, what is going on? Where is my food? Here's my receipt. Here's the timestamp. It said it's done. And it's not. And they'd forgotten about it. It happened more than once. I'm an idiot. I went back multiple times for 45 minutes. And it was the third time at 45 minutes that I said, that's it. Done. But 45 minutes, I could have ordered a meal at most restaurants and had it served at my table. It's faster than the fast food. And again, lots of issues. We have all the pickup places, the Uber Eats and whatever, taking priority over the customers who are standing in the store or picking up their own food. And there's multiple layers of the issue. We'll delve into that later because I think it's just an awesome conversation. And shout out to my brother from another mother, Sheldon. He's the socket. Yeah, Sheldon. Good morning to you. Actually, I ran into you recently. We ran into each other at the grocery store. First, we ran into each other in Florida. We went into the airport. We were in the lounge waiting to get onto an airplane. Then we got into the airplane together. Then we got off the airplane together. Then we waited for our baggage together. Then we lost track of each other and ran into each other at the grocery store. But Sheldon, good to see you. Thanks for popping into the live. And then Stephen Bell from London says, hi, good morning, Sean. And Golf Bear jumped into. Have you got my sticker? I've got the sticker on screen. Have you got my sticker? Because if you were at the auto show and you met you probably have my sticker. That is the sticker that I was, it's a business card that happens to be adhesive, I want to say, because I wasn't supposed to give out any stickers at the auto show. Rules and such. Hang on a sec, my chair is too low. Better. Now you can see my classic t-shirt. Okay. Yeah, I've got these stickers. They're awesome. I love them. And if you want one, if you see me, ask me for one because I usually have a pocket full of them. I think they're awesome. If you think they're awesome too, then join. If you're watching on, wherever you're watching, please like, follow, subscribe, share. That endorsement means a lot. Telling other people that we're worthy of watching is important. And my goal is to make traffic safety a normal thing again. See, I used to have that when I was a kid, and we talked about it in schools. And now I think we gloss over it. I think we miss it a lot. Obviously, I've been doing this for years, so there are people talking about it. But I think more people need to have the conversation because we've seen traffic safety, well, go to crap. It's not good. Way too many people getting hurt on the road. Way too many drivers who are just not doing the right thing when they're behind the wheel of a motor vehicle. In fact, there's cyclists who are not doing the right thing. There are people who don't do the right thing, and I really want to believe it's not because they're bad. It's just because they're ill-informed. If you don't know who I am, and that's possible, there's a few people out there who don't know me. My name is Sean Shapiro. I am a former police officer. I used to work for the Toronto Police Service in the Traffic Safety Programs Unit, talking about traffic safety and law every single day for them. And I have retired from policing, but I still do this thing where I talk about stuff and things every day, or at least 3 days a week. And I want to share that information with you. So if you've got questions about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff, know that I am here to answer them. And if you want to talk about drive-thrus, I am absolutely down to talk about that because it bugs me. It really does. Customer service, you're the paying customer, you deserve to have the right thing at the right time, just as it was promised by your great granddad. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. Chase says, what are the chances I'm sitting in a McDonald's parking lot waiting for my drive-through order as I get notified for this? Come on. Really? You should like go show them the phone and tell them that they're failing. But that's Chase, longtime listener, follower, friend, who has contributed not only magical messages of drive-thrus over the years, but really challenging questions. By the way, Chase, you're lacking. You've fallen down. Your customer service stinks. You haven't been providing those challenging questions for a while. Where have you been, brother? It's been a while. Akela Draconis dropped in to say greetings and salutations. Tien says, good morning, everyone. Nicholas Rizzi, our friend with the fabulous questions, has popped in. Let's see what he's got to say. Oh, let's read it here. It's going to get cut off. It may or may not be serious. There is a school bus in my area that picks up kids, but they never use the red flashing signals when they do it. I stop every time just in case. No kid is crossing the street, but if I do pass without the signals flashing, but kids are clearly being picked up, am I in the wrong for passing carefully, or is the bus driver in the wrong? What a fantastic question that I don't think I've ever been asked that question. And it's on topic. Nicholas, what's going on with you? Usually it's about the FBI and aliens, but today you're asking real traffic questions, and I commend you for it. By the way, Nicholas is coming in through X. He's on what used to be called Twitter, so know that you can ask questions there, and you can see the answers here too. Sadly, on Instagram and on TikTok, we can't actually see, we can't put your questions on the screen. So if you want to see yourself on the stream, you got to go over to YouTube, LinkedIn, or the Twitter, which is now called the X. Anyway, to answer your question, you're not breaking the law if you pass a school bus that's actively engaged with kids. But I mean, morally, are they wrong for doing it? Yeah, they should be activating those lights because they are there to protect the children. They're there to make everything safer. So if they're not doing it, could they be ticketed? I don't know. I've never actually looked at that. And I can look at that because I have a phone and the ability to search on it, the HTA. Oddly enough, I was looking up school bus stuff, so already on the right page, and it was in regards to whether or not at a four-way stop, does everyone in every direction have to stop in relation to the red flashing lights in the stop bar? And the deal is this, because I'll answer that question while I'm, buying time to look up the answer to the other question, and that is you can't pass or overtake in the other direction a school bus with its lights on and the stop bar. Really, the stop bar is just an additional thing. It's the lights that govern what you can and cannot do. But nothing says that the cross traffic has to stop. It's a nice thing for them to do because kids do the darndest things, but it's not a legal requirement. What is a legal requirement is they are not supposed to activate that equipment within 20 meters of an intersection. So school buses should not be pulling up to an intersection and activating their lights to create that confusion that they oh so well. They do. They create confusion. Just a quick shout out to Nora, who got 100% on their driving test. Now, was that for a G1, a G2, a G exit? What was it? Let us know. We want to know. Let's see here. I want to see if they have anything for failing to use their lights. There's tons of stuff about it. I mean, really tons of stuff regarding school buses. Boom, boom, boom. I don't see anything that says not. There's improperly actuate. Here, you know what, Nicholas? Fail to actuate school bus signals is an offense under the Highway Traffic Act 175 sub 6. This is my very first time ever looking at it. We shall read it together and learn together. It's a magical thing. It is a $110 fine with 0 demerit points, and it says, subject to subsection 9, every school bus driver, A, who is about to stop on a highway for the purpose of receiving or discharging children or receiving or discharging adults who have developmental disabilities shall actuate the overhead signal lights on the bus. Subsection or sub B, it says, as soon as the bus is stopped for the purpose set out in the clause, sub A, which comes after B, so there's some weird writing here, shall actuate the school bus stop arm, and C, while the bus is stopped for the purpose set out in clause A on highway, shall continue to operate the overhead signal lights and stop arm until the passengers have been received or discharged and until all passengers have crossed the highway having completed the crossing. I learned something. Nicholas? No, it's the wrong button. You taught something to me today, inadvertently. By asking a question, I have learned something, and I appreciate that. I have sound effects board here, and I use very little of it. But last night I was playing around with it because I've been asked to wrong button. I've been asked to voice a character in a animated film that's in development. And what do I have here? I was asked to do 2 parts. One is to be a dispatcher, and when I press this, I think I sound a little bit like I'm coming through a radio. It's not perfect, but I'm demonstrating what this sounds like. So I basically set the gizmo to make it sound like that. And I think it sounds pretty good for radio communication. Yeah. And then I put on a little bit of an accent, and it went well. I think it went well. And then the other thing was to be kind of not a transformer. I don't want to give away what I'm actually doing. But I drop my voice down. So when the character is in that transformer mode,
I wanted it to sound like this, and I think it sounds pretty good. Anyway, I'm going to stop doing that.
I just wanted to let you know the buttons that I was pressing when I was doing the thing that I did. Okay, let's get into Randy's comment, who says, Good Friday, Sean and Cruz. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Best from the Forest City. Thank you, Randy. It's always good to hear from you. Maria has a question. Oh, let's talk to Maria. And I should really put this timer on and, wrong button. There we go. Maria says, Hi, Sean. Can you answer this question? I've tried to call Transport Canada and they were no help. Can a car seat be placed in the passenger seat of a cargo van, work truck with no back seat? Why, they couldn't answer that, really? Yes, the answer is yes. You can put a car seat anywhere in the vehicle as long as it's properly tethered, properly secured, and installed as per manufacturer's directions to a child that is appropriately sized. So if you have a child that's supposed to be in a bucket, they're not supposed to be in a front-facing seat, you could be charged for having the wrong seat for the wrong kid. Yeah. But there's nothing that says they can only be in the back seat. That's it. Now, airbags are a problem. Like I used to have a little Jeep, a 2-door Jeep, and the back seats were horrible. Like I just took them out of the vehicle because they were just rickety folding seats from an old Jeep. And the front seat, well, there was an airbag, and I wanted to keep my kid as safe as possible. So what do? You put the car seat, or at least the passenger seat, is to the farthest back it can be away from the airbag if you cannot disable the airbag. And that is for safety reasons. It's not to meet a legal requirement, just that airbags can really, really hurt or seriously injure small people, kids, anybody who's too close to it. So create distance, and that is the first part. If you have no other option, there is no law that says you have to leave your kid at home because you have a work truck, and no, you can put a child seat in the front seat. It's not ideal, but you can do it, and you can do it legally. Thanks for the question, Maria. I appreciate it. I do like these questions. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer who talks about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff. I have a great time doing it. I love still being in service to the public, and now I do it with the help of Barrett Legal and Better Traffic, which is actually an organization I co-founded. It's a not-for-profit that wants to change the way police educate, and it's to help them educate. See, we're going to create the content and give it to them so they can give it to you in the local jurisdictions. I talk about generalities. I talk about things across Ontario, and soon to talk about things across Canada and the United States because we're growing. But at the same time, those local matters need local attention. We also want to have guests from different police services come join us on the air and talk to us about the stuff that matters to them and their communities. Okay. Follow us if you don't follow us. And if you're on the TikTok, please do me a favor. Please hit the button until your fingers go numb. It sends likes our way. And what does that really mean? It means that other people find out about the live. And when they do that, they get to learn stuff. So please hit the likes until the likes don't work anymore, which they should always work. Just keep hitting the button. Obviously, we do this 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at the moment, and that's at 10 a.m. And it's to help you, to be available, to have access to someone who knows stuff and things. Okay. We got Brandon, and we're going to go back to TikTok in just 1 second. Brandon says, "Good morning, Sean, and finally back home. Let's have an amazing day." Thank you for that. He's giving me a dad joke for later. If you have dad jokes, please let me know what they is, because then I will put them into the show notes and we'll go back to them at the end. Okay. Let's go to the TikTok and see what's going on there. Liz says, oh, here we go. In comment, so first of all, Musa, that guy, says, good morning. Good morning to you. And just catching up. Okay. It's one big messy window. Okay, here we go. So Liz says, I have passed school buses that were loading, unloading kids and the lights were not on. On those cases, it appeared that all kids were on the sidewalk on the same side as the bus door. Still, according to the law, it says that they should have activated it. Mike QQQ says, hi, Sean. Well, hello back, and hi, TPS Melody. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. So Nora got 100% on their test in Quebec. Very cool. Let's go back to the first question that was completely ignored unintentionally. Mana says, my car got stolen. What are you guys doing about it? It's been a week. Haven't heard anything. You missed the memo. It says former police officer here. It says Barrett Legal, and Barrett Legal, I imagine, was not called in relation to the theft of your vehicle. So what happens when a vehicle is stolen? This is a big deal. It is a thing that happens, and police come and take notes. Are they going and door knocking looking for your car? No, that's not realistic. They are taking notes at the next call and the next call after that. They have specialized units that are looking for the big fish and trying to take down organizations, but they are not personally going and looking for your car. When someone reports an abandoned vehicle, they will find your car, or your car's already gone. And these are the things that actually happen. But it's unrealistic for you to believe that police are actively searching for your car, that they're putting resources into something that is insured and will be replaced. It sucks, I know. But that's not how police works. Police respond to priority calls, and that's where they put the most amount of their effort. And then they have investigative units that try and solve the mysteries. And they do that, and it's interprovincial, inter-agency cooperation, but it's not looking for Muna's car. It's looking for all the stolen cars, and there are tons of them. It's an epidemic. You know what you can do, regardless of it's, what you could have done for this car, and it may not have helped. So not to throw iodine on an open wound, but there's things you can do to make your vehicle less attractive for theft. Is it because your vehicle was super high-end and boutique and fancy and is currently on its way to Dubai or Africa or somewhere, because they're all dumping these cars somewhere else? I don't know. But they steal every kind of car, and sometimes it's to use for another crime. Maybe they're getting a car to go steal other cars with, so they don't, put their own vehicles at risk, because, even criminals have standards. Anyway, I'm sorry to hear that you lost your car, and hope that you do get it recovered. Actually, no, I hope you get a full payout in your insurance, because getting a recovered car, I had a car that was stolen, not when it was in my care, but it was stolen from the dealership when it was getting service. And I got it back, and I'm like, it's gross. I don't want this car anymore. It was a terrible violation. Smurf GT says, what if I'm buying a car and I had to give my plate portion to transfer plates for 2 days? Is there a fine? You're buying a car and I had to give my plate portion to transfer plates. So if you're buying a car and you give them your plate portion, you don't have a car anymore, right? You don't have a complete. Where are you driving? I am confused, because usually they will issue new plates to a new car, and then you just pick up your old car and you have another set of plates. If you're talking about transferring the plates, well, that happens at the time that you get to the dealership, and they take your information while you're waiting in the lobby, and they drive to the ministry, and you wait for them for an hour, and they come back and they give you your car. You shouldn't be giving up portions of your ownership in advance. So technically, if you gave up portions of your ownership, you could be charged for failing to surrender it when you are, given a demand by a police officer to surrender it. Could be a $110 ticket. Sam Call M3 says, now that I've joined the airborne infantry in the CAF, does it mean I'm allowed to break petty laws? Sam Call M3, no. In fact, I would say that now that you're part of the military, you have more to worry about, because military police have other standards on base and off. They're responsible. You're now under their rule, in addition to being bound to all civilian rules. I've done a lot of presentations to the Canadian Armed Forces, and I was shocked to find out how strict they are about traffic. Now, you are responsible based on your driver's license with the military, if you've got one, Well, you have to follow all civilian laws, and they don't like it when you break things. Bernhard22 says, "Hi, Sean. TPS has parking enforcement open until March 31st. First, I don't know why I'm pronouncing it that way. All right, let's put some put some stuff on that. TPS.ca/careers. Let's do a quick checkout. Bernhard says there's openings in parking, and I know that to be true, but let's share it with the world. Okay, careers sharing. Here we go. If you are interested in becoming a member of the Toronto Police Service or any police service, they take applications online. Toronto Police happens to be the most magical of all of these, in my personal opinion, which is absolutely biased. www.tps.ca/careers, I had to think about that for a second, is where you can go and get more information about the jobs that are available. And of course, police constable is right there. If you click on it, you'll get to find out more about the job, about what the responsibilities are, what the qualifications are, what the salary is. And it's a good one. You can also apply online and start building your profile. But all the information you want to have about the job is there, but you need to learn about the service. So if you're interested in a job, a career with the Toronto Police Service or any police service, read about them. Read everything you can know about them. Read about them in the news. Go to a police station, ask questions. Find a recruiter that will spend some time with you. Find a police officer who might be a good mentor for you, and go from there. Now, there are more jobs than simply police constable jobs. There's special constable jobs, and there's parking enforcement officer jobs. And look at Erin. Erin's there. They changed the logo. It's no longer that string of people. It's just Erin. I wonder how she feels about the focus of just her. One second. I can't. Yeah. Ooh, does it work? No, it's not working here. I'm zooming in, but you're not seeing the zoom. Anyway, I was just making fun. This is a great opportunity. At one point, I was going to be a parking enforcement officer. I was tired of being stuck in the courts. I had my motorcycle qualifications as an auxiliary officer, and I applied to be a parking enforcement officer so I can go out on motorcycle patrol. I thought that would have been awesome, and maybe it would. Maybe it still would. That's a badge I was never issued. Maybe I should go back and be a parking officer. I would enjoy giving tickets all day. If you want to volunteer, auxiliary officer is a great opportunity. This is the best way to see your city in a new light, serving your community. If you want to be a police officer, spending 2 to 5 years doing the auxiliary thing could be great. Of course, if you qualify as a police officer today, if you meet the requirements to become one, go and apply to be a police officer. Communications operator let's just go into the civilian roles. Communications operator role was available. So here we go. 5 jobs. Parking enforcement officer being the top on the list. Senior advisor, audit and quality assurance. Analyst, strategy and governance. Intermediate technical analyst and repair services. I think that's a new one. I don't remember seeing that one last time I looked. And communications operator. All great opportunities. And the only ones that are uniform, it's parking enforcement officer. The other ones you can serve without having to wear a uniform. And some people don't want to wear a uniform. It's up to you. All right. I used to wear something. It'd be awkward to go to work. Nothing. Anyway, what's going on here? Let me shrink this window. Okay. Regardless of where you're watching, please follow. And you should also follow the Toronto Police and all your police services. Wherever you are local, you should be paying attention to what they have to say online. And thanks to Bernhard for bringing up the fact that they are, in fact, hiring. All right. What is it? Smurf GT had follow-up question. Going back. I changed my address, MTO online. It didn't give me a temporary license, but it gave you a receipt that you should have. So Smurf GT went online, changed their address, and didn't get anything in the mail. Well, you should be getting something in the mail. The license will be replaced. I don't know what timeline, but it will happen. And then in the meantime, you have a receipt that you actually did it, but the system would be live updated. Now, if you are not trusting of the MTO, go into a Ministry of Ontario location, or Ministry of Ontario. What is the building called? Service Ontario. That's what it's called. Go there. They will confirm, and they can even print out a temporary. As you can say, I never received it. All right. Hey, Sethy. I got 100% of my driving exam in Quebec. That was Nora. We read that already, but congratulations again. We can do that. And fender bender tore off my plate and cracked my bumper. Will I get a ticket for no plate before repair? So, Matt, this is where it becomes reasonable or unreasonable. Do you have is it clearly damaged? Was it reported as a collision? Is it safe? Now, technically, you cannot drive without a front plate. You're breaking the law. if it happened yesterday and you've got an appointment booked and you've got the front plate on your passenger seat, or better yet, in your trunk, because you don't want that thing flying around in the event of another collision. But it's about reasonable. I talked about this, and I actually posted a clip about this. I think I posted a clip where we talked about whether or not you should be ticketed if you're pulled over for something like this. And what was it? Maybe it was Liz actually who asked a question. I don't remember the specifics of it. However, I posted the video yesterday or the day before, and it talks about, would you, if you were waiting for the part or you had the appointment tomorrow, should the cop give you a ticket? Well, you're guilty, but I would probably exercise that whole discretion thing and say, you know what, we can chalk this up and you did the right thing. You take responsibility. You know it's not right, but you got to get it to the shop somehow. Yeah, I think you'd be okay. But if that collision occurred a month ago, I don't think you'd be okay. So it all depends. Let's see here. Canados says the dash cam captures so many incidents with clear plate numbers. Why not Toronto police issue ticket? Sorry? Oh, your dash cam or our dash cam? I was thinking about that. I thought you meant the ALPR, the automatic license plate reader. So in the situation where we have your dash cam catching all sorts of great stuff, and my dash camera catches it as well, there's a couple of things. You need to know the date, the time, the location. That has to be clear. You have to be able to identify the motor vehicle and its driver. And then you, as the person who took the dash cam, has to come in and testify to the fact that you were the one operating the dash cam. It's a little bit muddy. First off, you very rarely, if ever, get the driver's identity from that. And the charges that you want to lay require identity of the driver. They're not owner's responsibility. The only exception for that are, well, the fail to stop red light. That's being converted. There's an additional charge now that is specific to owner's responsibility for automated enforcement. There's one for speed cameras. There's one for school buses. And I believe there's now one for TTC streetcars. Yeah. That's what it was. Liz talked about driving with a damaged muffler. Thank you for reminding me. But they had already ordered the replacement arriving in 2 days. Thank you again. Thank you for initially asking the question, and thank you for reminding me the details, because I done forgot. But that's the deal. We're talking about dash cams. I wish it was a situation where we could send and proceed on everybody. Now, what you can do in the city of Toronto and in many jurisdictions across North America is you can upload a complaint, sometimes with video, sometimes not, depending on the service and their website portal. Sometimes you could assist by uploading it to YouTube and sending a private link, or to a Dropbox kind of scenario. That happened to me a lot when I was in the CIB. In any case, you can send that complaint with all the information, and although the police officer will likely not be able to lay charges, they can write a letter to the registered owner, or give the registered owner a call, or visit their address, depending on how egregious the offense was, and say, hey, on this date and time, that car was doing dumb stuff. Whether you were driving it or not, I don't know, but I will tell you that if it continues to happen, we've got it on file. So don't expect any warnings. Get charged next time. And that is a legitimate file that is created and tracks that car. Fun stuff, right? All right. Randy said, I would suggest that the local transportation company be contacted via manager, provide the company name, unit number, location, time of the offense. So this is in relation to the whole school bus picking up and dropping off without activating its lights. And I think you're right. I'm big on accountability. Just because the police aren't there to catch it doesn't mean that you can't call as a concerned citizen saying, I saw your driver doing dumb stuff, putting children's lives at risk. And did you know it was an HTA offense? And they do. They know. I think we should have dash cams and remote access and eye in the sky. And yeah, I just want people to do the right thing. Just like McDonald's drive-thrus. Are we still out on that? Does anyone, the original question was, do you think it's right that they make you pull over even if there's nobody else online just because they want to fake the stats on their computer timer? Their computer timer. I just posted another video in response because I got lots of opinions about customer service. Okay. Funt Sock. I'm trying to figure out what your name means. I'm scared. They said that Fun says, good morning, Sean. Any fitting ticket for snow on front windshield? Any different for side passenger rear window? So this is whether or not there is a ticket available to the driver of a motor vehicle who fails to clear the snow off the windshield or the side windows. Well, first of all, obscuring the driver's view is absolutely a charge under the HTA, $110. And you could do it for every window, although that might be excessive. Yeah, that's what I would go with. Or you can even go careless driving if they're operating with that much snow on their window. So you could do careless if they can't see. You could do obscure the driver view as a lesser charge. You could do both if you really wanted to double down. But I think that the level of stupidity for not clearing the snow is intense because it is so dangerous to be operating a motor vehicle and then suddenly not be able to see. They scratch out that little box that they look through like they're driving a tank, and then it melts because the car's warming up, and then all the snow on the roof falls down, and they're completely blind instantly. Different kind of snow blind. It's stupid snow blind. But yeah, I would lay those charges. So you could totally go careless, could totally go driver's view obscured, and I would do both. Greg sent me a hat. I don't even know because I can't see the interface because I'm not logged directly into YouTube or TikTok, I should say. So I didn't see the magic of the animation. But Greg, thank you very much. Let's see here. What we got here? Dash cam, we caught that. Oh, and Jeff WMS Warrior sent what they send. I've never seen that icon, but you sent me something. Thank you very much for the gift. Not necessary, but I totally appreciate it. Brian was making comments in regards to taking a child. These are out of context or out of order, but disable the airbag. This is talking about having a child in the front seat. Not all motor vehicles can. At one point, the American vehicles, or basically the United States changed the rules. You can no longer disable an airbag with a key. Now it's a matter of weight sensors, and if they're working properly, if it's an older vehicle, you might have the key. If it's a newer vehicle, the weight distribution on the seat should disable the airbag, but just in case, you never know, as far back as you can. And the only way to actually remove or truly disable an airbag now, if the vehicle doesn't have it built in, is to take it to a Red Seal mechanic, and it's like a $3,000 thing. Not easy. Funsock says, insecure load for snow up top. I think so. I think it's a triable situation. I've heard it going not well in court where they may or may not be convicted of it. However, it makes sense to me. And if you're being literal about the law, which is what the law is, you have a load. You chose to leave it on there, so you can say, well, I didn't put it there. But if someone put a coffee on the top of your car or a brick or an anvil, and you chose to drive without removing it, are you not responsible for it? I say you are. Why is snow any different? That snow that with minor, like for short drives, when you heat up the car and cool the car, you take the nice fluffy snow and you compact it to a sheet of ice, which then later goes airborne, landing on the windshield of another car, smashing it. Yeah, it could have been avoided. I would totally go that way. Basharat Ali, what's going on? My friend from Punjab, Pakistan says, morning, Sir Sean. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Let's see here. Going back to the talk to see what's going on here. The snowman followed me. Kind of creepy. Are you going to melt? It's a good name. I like the name. It makes me think of like an assassin name. Anyway, Jeff wants to know if I'm going to Motorama. I didn't have any plans. When is it? Let me know. At very least, I wouldn't mind doing a walkabout. And maybe I'll pop in and see what's going on. Alex wants to know if bikes under 50cc are legal to ride without registration and everything. And it really depends, Alex, what jurisdiction you're in. If you're in the province of Ontario, a bike with a 50cc motor on it is a motorcycle. There is no exemption. It's not a power-assisted bicycle like many jurisdictions allow. It does require license, ownership, and insurance. And if you think about mopeds are basically bicycles. They're pedal bikes that have augmented power by way of gas-powered engine. Back in the old days, pre-2007, I can't believe that's the old days. I cannot believe that's the old days. Anyway, you were able to operate one with a G-Class license. That is no longer the case. You now need a motorcycle license, although you can have a low-power motorcycle license, and it does need license, ownership, and insurance. Yeah. We got a bunch of people. Thank you for following. By the way, if you're watching and you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a former police officer. I used to work for the Toronto Police. I no longer do. I've retired from policing, but I'm here to still support you, even though I'm no longer a cop. I still know stuff, and I want to share that with you. I want to make roads safer. I want to make you more knowledgeable about stuff and things, because so often people want to know stuff, and they don't know who to turn to. They Google, and they get 50 different wrong answers, and they don't know which one to choose. I'm here to help you from the police perspective and the safety perspective, too. So if you don't follow me, please do. And please share it with your friends. People get confused because there's still another account called Traffic Services, which has hundreds and hundreds of videos, which is a great resource. You can go check it out. No one's creating content there, but there's a great library for you to go through. And of course, jump in the lives when we're here Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Additionally, there's an archive. You can watch all the episodes by going to my YouTube page, which you should also be following, VoiceOver Cop. And if you want to take it on the road, you can synchronize with your favorite podcast app by following the show. It's the Ask a Traffic Cop replay, where I download and upload all of the content so it's available to synchronize, and then you can listen while you drive without breaking the law or burning your data. Yeah, things to think about. TK wants to know, when did you retire? I left at the end of August of 2024. Very, very recently. It's like less than 6 months, and it's still fresh. Still fresh. Okay. Chase wants to know, for a public transit bus, does the law require you to yield only... does the law requiring you to yield only apply when they're coming out of a bus stop, or does it apply at all signals like lane changes? No, it is specifically when they're returning to the road from servicing a bus stop. A bus bay, I believe, is the wording. Let's double check what the wording is. Fail to yield, fail to yield. Yield. There we go. Bus. No, that's not the wording. What did I say it was? It was a bay? Here we go. Fail to yield to bus entering lane from bus bay. That is the charge. It's $110. Every driver of a vehicle in the lane of traffic adjacent to a bus bay shall yield the right of way to the driver of a bus who has indicated his or her intention as prescribed to re-enter that lane from the bus bay. It is not about simply changing lanes. It is about returning to the roadway from the bus bay. So your question had an answer in it. Are front plates required in Ontario? What if I bring a car from QC, Quebec? The answer is they are required. If you register your vehicle here, you will be required to mount a front plate. If your vehicle probably doesn't have a front mounting bracket, you'd have to either order one or in most cases get a tow hook adapter, which is readily available just about anywhere. And then if you like your car, if it's a cool car, you may not dislike the way it looks with a front plate as much as it would otherwise. It messes with the looks. That's my understanding. The looks are messed with. Okay. Michael Zane has a question. I got ticketed for failing to stop before right turn on red. The officer wrote wrong plates on the ticket. Can I get it dismissed? Wrong plates is usually a fatal error. So it's possible. You're supposed to be able to have the correct plate listed. It is an offense. You should have stopped. You can certainly make a motion, and what the officer can do is ask to have it amended. So you can bring it up to the prosecutor, and they can say, we want to amend it. Everything else was correct. We got the plates wrong. And it would be up to the judge or JP to determine whether or not they want to amend it in court. But you certainly have something to bring up. But if you're saying, it was me, I ran the red light, but they made a mistake, right? It's different than, it wasn't me, I wasn't there. But that wasn't the case because it was you. So it's an interesting argument to make. Mitzvah Tank Toronto. Hello, how are you? They say, you're doing great work. Thank you. Well, Mitzvah Tank Toronto, you're doing great work too. Look forward to seeing you again soon. It's been too long. It's great. You made my day. Okay. Maria says, thank you for answering. Transport Canada wouldn't answer. I also called York Regional Police, who said, no, why would you ever put a child in the front? Not a first choice, but the only choice for our family, sadly. You got to do what you got to do. And I understand why they would say, why would you want to do it? Because we say backseat till 14. It's the safest place. You want to keep them away from those crumple zones. Those airbags are deadly. But people take them on the bus with no seatbelt. People go in taxi cabs with no seatbelt. That's dangerous too. And there's exemptions under law. So that's why it's not illegal. Just not a great option. Okay. What we got here. Elizabeth wants to know what I think of the cadet program, and I think it's great. I have all the respect in the world when young people and members of the community come together to build a stronger youth program, to teach responsibility, skills. I mean, they get to become pilots. They get pilots licenses, don't they? If they go through the program, they get exposure to firearms, firearm safety. I think it's great. They learn how to polish boots. They understand the concept of rules and regulations. I think it's awesome. And service to the community. I love it. I have a special place in my heart when there's kids out there doing work, even asking for donations. If they're in that uniform, I got to support them because it's teaching values that we don't get to teach kids in any other way, I think. So absolutely love it. Now, I've never been involved with the program. I have friends who used to administer the program, and they were good people. They are good people. Yeah, I think it's good. Okay, Brian says, recommendation on make model of a dash camera for an F-150. So regardless of what the vehicle is, I have a recommendation. My first one is the ThinkWare U1000 or U3000. It's was the top of the line was the one U1000. Now it's the U3000. They're expensive, but they are amazing. I think that in terms of if you have a front and rear camera option with the high definition, high quality Sony sensor, that is what you want. Now those are like $500-600, so they're expensive. Viofo is a brand that a friend of mine has experience with, and I've come to see. They use the same sensor, about half the price. So I think you should look at both of those options. Blackview is also a fantastic camera. I've had them in the past. Yeah, I think you've got a lot of good options. But here's the deal: buy what you can afford. Something is better than nothing. And I am testing one in my car. I turned it off, but I was testing one in my car, and it is a $40 like jobby from Amazon that I got on a deal during one of the Black Friday promotions. Like it's silly cheap if to have something. So there's no excuse not to have a camera. Everyone should have one. It is great for creating content on TikTok, but it's also great for protecting you. It is the independent witness as to what happened. Nobody stops to help you anymore. You get into a crash, you used to be the whole community. Oh, are you okay? Do you need a witness? I saw what happened. No, people just drive on by now because they're busy for, getting a cafe latte with matcha stuff in it. Nobody stops anymore unless it's really serious and you're blocking traffic. Sad. You want that independent witness. Buy a camera, doesn't matter what it is. You want really good footage that gets actual, license plates, get the higher quality HD cameras. A lot of people said that, you got to go front and back. You got to go, don't put a back one on, don't put GPS on. Oh, it'll be incriminating. No, I follow the law and put one that records all the information. It'll protect you. Break the law, it'll capture you breaking the law. Why do you want a rear camera? Well, when you're rear-ended, it might catch the person on their phone as evidence as to why they drove into you when they try and say, I was doing nothing wrong. Totally, no. Yeah, get a camera. What do we got here? Michael wants to know, what if I had an AirTag in the car and I actually know where it is. So Michael's talking about car theft, auto theft. If you have a vehicle that has an AirTag and they steal it and you see where it is, what happens then? Do the police just go and pick it up? Well, sadly, the police have a whole bunch of rules to follow because of laws that help and both hinder, depending on who it is. Most laws, I think, protect the criminals. But the deal is that you might know where it is. And if you have a spare set of keys, you might be able to just get in and drive it home or drive it to the police station to have it fingerprinted. But at the end of the day, that's dangerous. Police, if it's visible to the street, will be able to go and deal with it, but they will not be able to go into a building without a warrant, even if they know it's there. So it's a problem, but it's great information. So you share that with the police and then do what you got to do. What the hell? What? It's what the hell? What the hell? That's a great username. I get it. Can I sell my custom plates? You can transfer your plates. I don't know the deal. I know people have done it in the past. I don't know specifically the rules on how to do it. I've never done it. Kathy DeFore says, love the Grizzly Adam look. Grizzly Adams? I have to go look that up. This is just me experimenting with the lack of uniform rules. Since I'm no longer a police officer, I no longer need to maintain uniform standards. So I'm experimenting. I've never done this before. It's the longest my face has ever had stuff hanging on it. It's the longest hair it's ever been. It's the weirdest way I've ever described it. Okay. Kathy goes on to say, what did it say? What just happened? Everything just re-updated. Okay, we'll come back to Kathy's comments. There's more coming. Hey, I got a stop sign ticket and cannot afford my insurance to go up. Should I go to court? Is it likely the officer won't show up? This is Two-Turn T who wants to know. Listen, I can't tell you what to do. If you have a defense, you can go to court. If you go to court and say, I have no money, they can give you a payment plan. They're not going to not find you guilty for running a stop sign just because you're having a hard time, that you can't afford it. That unfortunately isn't a defense. If you go there and the officer doesn't show up, will you simply have it dropped? Depends on what jurisdiction you're in. Some jurisdictions have moved to viva voce evidence where they take the sworn affidavit or the face of the ticket as the evidence. This is what the officer wrote. That's what we're going with. We're proceeding. Bring your defense. And simply getting out of jail free because the officer was stuck on the road is not always working anymore. Many people rolled the dice and wasted a lot of taxpayer money, and they said, we're done with this. So I feel for you. hopefully this is your last ticket ever. If you're not changing your vehicle or changing your policy, you probably won't see an increase of your insurance, even if you are found guilty. They don't generally do regular audits. It's usually when you call to say, hey, I'm changing my address, or hey, I'm changing my vehicle, or some situation. Then they open it up and they go, oh, like when I never sold my motorcycle. I've got a motorcycle I need to sell, but I've got it sitting in the garage, and it was insured for years after my motorcycle collision on duty. And I finally took the insurance off, and my insurance went up. So makes no sense. Just mine was static until they went, oh, look, we can charge you more money. Cody says, hey, Sean, is it worth taking a shot at uniform over special parking enforcement? 22 educated. Let's see here. Just looking here. Is it worth taking a shot at uniform over special? Okay. So, Cody, if you're asking if a career as a law enforcement, a police officer is better than a career as a parking enforcement officer or special constable, I started as a special constable. I started and enjoyed it and did many years in that role. Police constable is a whole new world. If you can do it, if you want to be that person, it's just a different engagement level. Now, with the development of the special constable program, there's way more you can do as a special constable. But I think policing is where it's at. If you can become a police officer, why wouldn't you make more money and also have more security and more responsibility and just more room for advancement? Yeah, I would 100% take a shot at it. And what's the worst that happens? You don't get it. Then you try again. And you can always do one of the others. You can go into the other units. In fact, very often, like if you're just like, you're almost there, but you're not quite there for police, they say, why don't you take a job in parking your special and then come back to us in a year? That's a possibility too. Like the farm team. Fafui says, I hate drive-thrus. Oh, sorry. They said I hate drive-thrus too. I don't hate drive-thrus. I love drive-thrus. I hate drive-thrus that make you park. That drives me crazy, which is why I made the videos. Can you explain what a communication operator does exactly? I can't tell you exactly what they do, but I can tell you that they're the people who both answer the telephone when you call 911, and then they take all that information and they send it over to the desk on the other side. That is a divisional desk. They tell you, they send it to the appropriate desk, who can then dispatch a police officer to come help you. That's essentially what a communications operator does. In terms of the nuts and bolts of what they do while they're doing it, I could not tell you because I don't actually know. I mean, they have maps and multiple screens and pedals and hand things and writing and typing. Like half the people, it's like a 50% washout rate. If they hire 40, they keep 20. It's a complicated job. It's a lot going on. If you're watching and you don't know who I am, if you're watching and you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro. It says so right on the screen. And this is Ask a Traffic Cop, the show on the internet that answers your traffic and police questions by a former cop who wants to help you. And guess what? I still know stuff, even though I'm no longer a police officer. And I share that knowledge free of charge to you. Now I say free of charge, somebody's paying the bills, and Barrett Legal's doing it right now. They're helping me by turning the lights on, keeping the internet going, buying equipment if I need it. They're making it possible. So if you need stuff, give them a call. Like legal stuff. If you need groceries, don't bother them. Let's see here. Cody says, I'm near Kingston. Are they looking for locals, or is it whoever qualifies? Some places prefer locals, such as Halton. People come from all over. I mean, I met someone who's from Toronto who's applying to Edmonton right now, and they even have special programs for people who are applying from out of town. They do all their interviews and everything in one trip, like to make it more efficient and less costly. So everyone is willing to take a good applicant who wants to work in that environment for the right reasons. Doesn't matter where you live. If you want to come move to Toronto, or if you want to come be at the biggest city for the reasons, because it's an amazing place and it's multicultural and there's lots going on, and while you want to be a police officer, you don't want to like investigate cow tipping. Whatever your motivation is, they want to hear from you. They want good people. That's the deal. What do we got here? We got a quote. We got a dad joke. Okay, hang on. Another Star Wars dad joke. Thank you, Akela. More dad jokes. So you're on fire today. Has anyone noticed that we have never seen Sean and Iron Man in the same room? That's too funny. Did we say hi to Carl already? Carl said happy good morning. Yes, we did. Okay, we did see him. All right, moving along. Oh my goodness. No, don't do this, Nicholas. Nicholas wants to know if have you read my questions? I can't walk into a police department and just start asking my interesting questions. I believe in freedom of speech as much as the next guy, but even I know there's a line. Yes, don't walk into a police station and do that. Oh, it's funny. Okay, let me scroll through here. Wade Westlake says, oh, he says, do you remember last summer or the summer before when Wasago Beach was had a lockdown on modified cars and gave tickets and towed cars that had modifications? What's legally a modification? Oh, well, a modification is anything that's modified from factory, but that's not why they were banning. They were banning, obviously, illegal modifications, lowered, unsafe violations, people who have suspension that's too low, that, they've got the modifications for exhaust systems, loud, things, bypassing muffler, no catalytic converter, the stuff that's not legal that would get you taken off the road anywhere. They just happen to do a focus drill, because what people do is they come down and then they make a mess and they make noise and they are a pain. They do burnouts. So if you have the cambered tires, or cambered. Anyway, if you had something that was illegal, that's what was done. If it was a legal vehicle that was good to go and safe for the road, they wouldn't have a problem. Okay. Man Rush says, how about making pre-trip compulsory for non-commercial vehicles also? Interesting question. Interesting suggestion, I should say. I don't know. I'm up for anything that makes the road safer. And what does it take? You can walk around? Yeah, everything's intact. I'm signing off that I looked. It's not a bad idea. No one will ever do it, but I like it. Okay. Bernhard's dad joke. Let's cut and paste this. Hang on a second. Copy. Ottawa Senators has a question. I see you, and we'll come back to you in just a second. Ooh, that didn't work. Hang on. Stand by. I think I pressed the wrong button. Copy and paste. I'm using a weird keyboard. There we go. Flag that for later. Nice. Rahul says, police gave me a parking ticket on a non-busy road in Toronto. Police gave you a parking ticket on a non-busy road in Toronto. Were you illegally parked? Because that's why you got a ticket. It's not about how busy it is. It's, are you violating the law? If you're not allowed to park there, you're not allowed to park there, regardless if there's anybody else there. So yeah, that's kind of how it works. Legacy Tire says, people when going out at night need to wear visible clothing. Instead, they do the opposite. Oh, we're not allowed to talk about reflections and visibility. People get really ornery about this. Yes, it is logical that if you want to avoid being hit, you should try and do things to be seen. Sadly, many people think that's victim blaming. It's not. It's good advice. Those who get hit and were wearing black clothing at night and were not seen didn't stand a chance. People who wear bright clothing or have a flashlight in their hand or reflective clothing or blinky bobs on their zipper, whatever it is, they increase their chances of being seen, which doesn't prevent collisions. It increases the chances of preventing collisions. It doesn't stop it. It doesn't make you bulletproof or carproof, but it does make it better. So thank you for bringing that up. It's good advice. And for a long time, people were scared to talk about that because the mainstream media vilified people who trying to say that we were giving people a false sense of security, that if they had a reflective thing on their wrist, they wouldn't get hit by a car. No, it's not that you wouldn't. It's you have less chance of it. Just like when the bicycling community got pissed at me for saying, wear a helmet. They said, well, it doesn't stop collisions. No, you dumb. It reduces head injuries upon collision. But they wrote to the chief and said, don't let this man speak on behalf of the police service because he says helmets should be worn. I have no words for the level of empty space between their ears. Anyway. Okay. Thank you for bringing that up. Center myself again from the insanity of that letter story. I did have fun with it at the time, but I still am shocked. 007 says, why the paving company don't fix the roads properly? Well, they do. But the problem is we live in Canada and there's a temperature change. And every time there's any water, moisture, the things that get into the cracks and it expands when it turns to ice and it contracts when it turns to water. And it just destroys things. So the road is fresh. After a period of time, it becomes less fresh. And it starts to degrade from use and 1,000 gazillion pound things driving on it. It just gets less good. So it breaks and then they fix it. And the patchwork is not the same as replacing the entire road. So they patch it and then those patches fail. It's a never ending cycle of mess. If you're watching and you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro. Please follow me. You can follow me here on X, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on Instagram. It's all VoiceOver Cop all the time. And I do this live stream thing Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Now, I'm meaning to do a nighttime one. I was going to do one last night. Didn't work out. I had other stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on in the Shapiro house. And yeah, it's good stuff. Lots of good stuff. But I wasn't able to do a live stream last night. Now, I have a game show. I wish I remembered to do this. I have a game show thing that I can do. Well, actually, let's do it right now. Let's bring it up. What's it called? It's called Crowd Per. I didn't spell it right. Apparently, you need to have a. There we go. Working? Is it? No, hang on a second. Apparently, this is not meant to be right now. I should just get back to the questions, but now I've gone down a rabbit hole. It worked yesterday. Come on. And what did you do? You watched Sean Google things. Here we go. Oh, because it's .com. I thought it was IL. I had it wrong. Let's see here. 1 second. It's coming. So during the auto show, I had set up an interactive game show. And it was awesome. And if you want to play it, we can. I think I can even do this online where I said I would do this. Like I told them that I was going to do this thing where I'd share it. So let me see if I go here and I open it in new tab. I'm coming back. I'm going to do this. Okay, we're going to stop it. I had this thing going the entire time. 4 people played it. Okay. Keep crowd responses, view presentation. Okay. If you want to do this, you can join in. And I'll put this, it's probably going to tank some things, but here. If you go and you want to play, you can take a picture of that. You can join it afterwards. I think I have it set on fully automatic. I could do it live where I keep you on the screen. Yeah, actually, let's do that. Remote, I'm going to turn it off from automatic. And I can do, it's safer. Just go and try it. See if you know the answers to these questions. If you're a loyal Ask a Traffic Cop viewer, you will know and should score high. Yeah, try it out. I think you'll have fun. He thinks you will. And if you're not having fun, let me know. All right, I'll put this away. I'll leave that on the screen for a few. And let's keep going up some jokes. And not jokes, some stuff. And then we'll do jokes. And we're already at an hour, so almost at an hour. Okay. Can you get a parking pass if you live in an apartment so you can park on the road? Dylan Armstrong wants to know that. What kind of parking pass? Depends on the street. There's sometimes you can get parking passes. Depends on the road. Okay, this is Kathy's question that I got a glimpse of earlier, but we'll actually read it now. Nieces got into an accident. The woman who caused the accident didn't have a driver's license, but her hubby did, and he was the one charged. Because they lied? Because they lied and said she had that he was driving? Now, he can get charged for permitting an unlicensed driver to drive. That's a thing. So maybe he got charged. What did he get charged with? And does the report reflect the fact that the unlicensed driver was driving? Because she should have been charged for driving without a license. He should have been charged for permitting his vehicle to be driven with someone who was unlicensed. So there's lots to unpack here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, lots to unpack. Okay. Melvin Sir says, if within certain distance of controlled crossing, bus lights are not allowed, was driver about 7 years. Right on, Melvin. We were talking about that earlier. I think we said it was 20 meters. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, I missed a whole bunch of stuff. Here we go. Just Joe King says, whoa, what happened to your beard, Sean? It's out of control. Not out of control. I brushed it. It's like, it's control-ish. Okay. Talon 401E says, if you get into your first collision, do you get accident forgiveness? That's a feature of your insurance company. I don't know if your insurance company has that or not, so you can't bank on it. It could be it. It could not be. It depends. It depends. But I wouldn't. I mean, I hope for your sake, if you're in a collision, that's a thing you do. Okay. Last chance to take a picture of that quiz game, because I'm going to take it off the screen, because it sometimes TikTok doesn't like that I do that. They don't always like it. Okay. Question: the red light cameras, are those being watched all the times? Are we watching the red light cameras, or are the cameras watching you? Cameras are watching you. Whether or not the cameras are being watched is another story. But they're on all the time. There's no like school zone time Monday to Friday that it turns off afterwards because you can speed. No, they're always there. They're always enforcing, and you shouldn't be speeding. No Ed. I don't know it. No, did it. I don't know how to say your username. Why aren't you a policeman anymore? Because I left. I am now at home with my family, helping them out because they need help. And I've created or co-founded Better Traffic Safety and Education, which is a company that is designed, it's a not-for-profit, to go and help police with their communication strategies for traffic safety education in so many ways. Partnering with amazing people. If you know somebody who may want to sponsor and support us, just like Barrett Legal, let us know. We will happily take your contributions to help fund what we're doing. We want to hire a whole team of people. Some retired cops. We want to get some camera people. We want to get some graphic artists. Maybe you're a graphic artist. We should talk. You know. Okay. And Greg says, call him. I'm going to call him. Okay. Why aren't stop arm cameras on school buses not allowed in court? Why aren't stop arm cameras on school buses not allowed? I thought they were allowed in court. Why aren't they allowed in court? It's a good question. I don't know. Either way, I will. I can tell you that some jurisdictions are testing it. There was an amendment to the Highway Traffic Act to allow them. So that's the thing. Joshua Henderson says, I got license suspended for 30 days due to loss of 15 points or more. What's going to... He said the same thing, got cut off the same way. 3 times, 4 times. And you lost, it only lets a certain number of characters. So what's going to happen? Your suspension is your suspension. When it's run its course, you can then apply for a reinstatement as a fee, and then you can get your license back. But that's what happens. After 3 years, your points will go away. After 2 years from the date of the offense, your points go away. But Joshua, if you have 15 points, you have a problem with your driving. You need to do better. That's the whole point. It's not an instant thing unless you got like all these in one collision or event, which still suggests you've done something wrong. You can DM me if you need more. I really want to know what you did, because that's fascinating. Jacob says, I fought an unfair ticket in court like you suggested, and I won. Thanks for the advice. Jacob, which one was it? Was it unfair, or were you innocent? Because I don't usually suggest you fight things that you're guilty of. If you're guilty of it, I say take your licks and keep on, doing your thing, but without breaking the law. But I am curious. I've talked to a whole bunch of people who had some interesting stories, and if you were one of those, I'd love to know what the feedback was. So please email me. You can get me at voiceovercop@gmail.com. Bald Eagle Miller says, can you elaborate on your experience with impaired arrests without an ASD? ASD is only a device that tells you that you are between certain ranges of breath. I made most of my arrests simply by saying, hey, you're impaired. Because you're impaired, because I can smell it and I can see it. And then I make a demand to have you go to a breath tech or a drug recognition expert. The ASD is really for catching. This is ASD is a roadside screening device. That device is really for people who aren't exhibiting enough for me to make my own independent determination of impairment by alcohol or drugs. And if I make if I have the belief, I believe I have grounds to say, I believe you have in your blood drugs or alcohol. If I'm wrong, or the levels aren't high enough to charge, we release you. But the box just, makes it easy, and you don't need the box. But if you want more information on that, let me know. Oh, Bald Eagle. So yeah, so copper to copper question. So yeah, dude, give me a message. You can get me to. You can get me at voiceovercop@gmail. Happy to have a conversation with you. Lunatic the Husky says dispatch is amazing. Is amazing. Is amazing. Yes. They are the people who make sure that police can help you. Without them, we'd be nowhere. At least we wouldn't know where you are. Rapinder Sidhu said, "Why'd you quit?" I left because of family reasons. I would have kept doing it forever. I thought I'd be buried in uniform. Like I got married in uniform. I thought I'd get buried in uniform too. I love the police service. I'm a big fan. I miss it terribly, but I'm still keeping my connection to it. I was just at the auto show with the Toronto Police, helping them out at their booth for a week. You know, I'm still connected to policing. I'm just not a police officer anymore. Do you find Dixon and Kipling dangerous? I couldn't say. I'm not really familiar with the intersection. I never spent time there. I found myself other places more often. Melvin Sir says they only patch the roads in my area in the worst of weather. Interesting. Jacob says, are you being paid by my tax dollars or tax dollars being wasted again? No, I don't get paid by your tax dollars. I do get paid by the generous support of private companies who want to help me do things like make sure the lights are on so I can do this live stream. It's amazing if no one pays for the bills, the internet won't work. Kathy DeFore says he was impaired. She wasn't, but didn't have a license since 1997. He got charged with letting her drive. There you go. I was talking about the collision. That's dead. Wow. She should have been charged too. Okay. What is this? G says, I think you are all being nasty, although invited, you are not required to stay. Oh, okay. I don't know what we're talking about, but okay. Do speed cameras catch both front and rear plates or just the rear? It's a rear plate thing. I don't believe that they catch the front. They're catching you as you pass by. Once you pass them, they're catching your speed. And Kathy says, I'm a school bus driver, went to court. Someone ran my lights. Judge wouldn't allow camera footage. Was it an official camera run by the city or was it an experimental? Very interesting. I'd love to know more about that, Kathy. Yeah. Bruv says, as per the Dixon Kipling question, people make locations dangerous, not the inverse. You're right. Well, actually, that's not true. I will challenge you on that, Bruv, because sometimes the design of the intersection is not safe. Like there are some really poorly designed intersections that have all sorts of blind spots and that's confusing and, you know, the way the pedestrians approach traffic. Like there are some that are bad, but you're right. In general, it's the behavior of the people who are utilizing those intersections that are the real problem. Okay. Let's do the dad jokes. I need a song. Let's do the dad jokes again. Yeah. I'm in that kind of mood. Hey, if you're watching, you don't know who if you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro, who is stumbling on words sometimes. See, the problem is I'm reading questions and trying to speak simultaneously. And for the people who say, you can't get a word on edge. No, I am doing this all on my own. There is no producer. I used to have a lot of help. Well, I shouldn't say I had a lot of help. I did have help now and again. I used to have a co-star, a co-host once in a while. When we're getting back to that, we're going to have people on screen with me soon. And that allows me to cheat. They're talking and I'm reading as opposed to me trying to speak and read. And I challenge you, try reading something and speak about something completely unrelated. It is a challenge. It's fun, but it's a challenge. Okay. We talked about Ottawa Senators and that was their thing. Here's the last Nicholas Rizzi bit for today. If I'm on a road trip with friends and it's my friend's turn to drive, but he is caught speeding, does that affect my car insurance? Also, what if he gets caught stunt driving my car? Does that affect my insurance even though I wasn't the one driving? And there was the last one. And can't I just take over driving and not get impounded? So these are actually surprisingly relevant to the live stream. And so Nicholas Rizzi and I have, I want to say we go way back now. His questions are usually completely out in left field and very fun to play with. But you're shocking me today because this is like 2 for 2 for like relevant to what we're talking about questions. Anyway, I appreciate you. The answer is that if you are if you're lending someone your car, you're lending them your insurance too, but your insurance rates are not based on their behavior in the car, but more so their license if they're a driver on your policy. So if they get a speeding ticket, it's their speeding ticket, your insurance isn't impacted. If they get into a collision that results in a claim, then your insurance will be impacted. And lastly, when it comes to stunt driving, the car is gone. Whether it's yours or rentals, the company car, doesn't matter. the driver is charged with stunt driving, whether you are there and capable of driving or not, the car is going into impound for 14 days. And there are storage fees and towing fees associated with that. So your day sucks. Here's the thing. If you're even thinking about driving with someone that you're worried might get you into trouble, don't let them drive. Ever. Because they're silly people. They're of the silly people clan. Okay. Let's do some dad jokes. I guess I should put that back up. If you're interested in reading about stuff and things, want to go to x.com to find it on Voice Over Cop. You can also find my blog on bettertraffic.ca and more information about contacting us. Okay, dad jokes. The first one. My wife told me to stop being a flamingo. My wife told me to stop being a flamingo. I had to put my foot down. I read that wrong. So I had to put my foot down. Funny, perfect. Delivery sucked. I got to say, it sucked. My delivery, not the joke. Michaela Draconis has a quote saying, learn how to see, realize. Punctuation is important. Learn how to see. Realize that everything connects to everything else. That's Leonardo da Vinci. Okay. I'll take it. A dad joke. What do they call it when they cut your sandwich in half at Subway? Subdivision. That was a weird button press experience. Subdivisions is also a good song by Rush. Very good. Star Wars dad joke. I'm kidding. I'd be making fun of Star Wars. I like Star Wars. Star Wars dad joke. What did Luke say when he ran into Leia on the Tatooine desert oasis? Oasis. Oasis. I read it wrong again. Not having a good dad joke day. What did Leia say when he ran into Leia in the Tatooine desert? Oasis. Oasis. Yeah. Is it good? Let me know. Because Bruv says, what's Forrest Gump's password? 1Forrest1. That, my friend, takes the cake. That's it. That so far, that might be my favorite dad joke of all time. That's funny. That's legit good. I'm going to use that like 6 times today. 1Forrest1. I love it. Okay. Sorry, Kayla. That was out of the park. Oasis is good. Oasis is good. But that's really good. All right. Do you know what? Sorry, let's try again. Did you know what French fries weren't first cooked in? Let's try it. Well, first of all, I just realized in my distracto look over here thing. Here we go. I understand that it said beginning soon. So you know how I gave you that code? Now it's got a 10-second countdown timer. If you are using that remote program, it wasn't even turned on. So hang on. I'm going to put it back on while I read the dad jokes. Because now you can actually go in and participate in the live. Or I should say participate in the Q&A live. Yeah. No. You can go in and do it on your own in full automatic mode. And then you can go and, well, maybe we'll do it as a group. I think I can get the questions to change on screen. We'll come back to it. Let's finish the dad jokes. Yeah, pressing the wrong button. Okay. Did you know that French fries weren't first cooked in France? They were actually first cooked in Greece. I like that one. That was good. I think I've heard it before, but I like it. Okay. From Bernhard. Why were the fish's grades bad? Because they were below sea level. It's a groaner, but I like it. Okay. What did Richard III say when the snowstorm stranded him several miles from his campsite? Now is the winter of our distant tent. Think about this. It's like it's both. It's good and it's good and it's not my kind of joke, but it wasn't bad. Why shouldn't you iron a 4-leaf clover? You don't want to press your luck. My button is not buttoning. Some button issues. Okay, so let's talk about what's on the screen. Let's see if it works. This is a quiz that you can take by scanning that barcode, and it'll tell you how you do. But is it legal to tint your windshield? That is the first question. And I think most people will know the answer. I'm just going to guess that people are going to know it. The answer is no, not in Ontario. You cannot. You cannot tint your windshield. If I press this button, is it going to work? No, it doesn't update on screen. Okay, so sadly, that is the first question. I gave you the answer. If you scan it, you can go play the rest of it. I will eventually figure out how to make this. We'll do it live in a different mode where I can actually see your responses. The sad or bad thing is that you have to be able to scan it with another device in order to still watch what we're doing, because you'd be kicked out. So if you have a player on your TV, you would be able to jump in and listen to me while we're playing. They do have a live stream feature. I have 30 minutes. Actually, we can try it. We can totally try it. I'm going to do one specific for like a specific broadcast, because I'm just babbling at this point. I got to go and do other stuff. It has been an absolute slice, as per usual. I enjoy doing this so much, and thank you for watching. I appreciate you. If you don't already follow us, please do. If you haven't told everyone you know about the show, please do, because I want to help as many people as possible. So jump in there, send them a link, talk about it over coffee. It's Ask a Traffic Cop. My name is Sean Shapiro. Thank you for watching. Drive safe, drive sober, park legally, and be safe out there while smiling, because smiling looks good on you and it actually makes you feel better, just in general. Have a great day. And Liz, you're absolutely right. Missed your comment until now. We wear helmets. What do you call a song about a tortilla? A rap. I missed that until